Alright, here we are again in the fourth year of the 7 in the series. Like we told you in the previous year, it's all done in one day. Rosh Chodesh Ma'acheshon, because you missed for 3-4 weeks from Yom Kippur, so we did Hallel because Rosh Chodesh is Hallel. Then we did Sukkot and Arba Minim, and then we did Hoshana Rabbah, the mystical day, Yom Adin for Chaim. And now we get to the next one in the series, before we get to the Simchas Torah and Bereshis and Noach, because we're holding in the week of Noach. Let's talk about Shabbos Chol Hamoed Sukkos. Yes, so what's so special about that? Well, that's when you say Koheles. Sometimes there's no Shabbos Chol Hamoed Sukkos, so you say it on Shemini Atzeres. All right. Anyhow, but let's talk about Koheles, which is usually said on Shabbos Chol Hamoed Sukkos. Koheles, a book of doom and gloom. Havel, Havolim, Hakol Hovel, Havel, Havolim, Hakol Hovel. 7 times in the first pasuk. Everything is nothing and nothing and nothing and nothing. 7 days a week. The whole world is nothing. Havel, Havolim, Hakol Hovel. Havel, Havolim, Hakol Hovel. It's all together 7 times. Why would Shlomo, the wisest man, write such a depressing book? 12 chapters of nothing but depression and gloom and doom. And number 2, Bomba Kasha. Why would you read this one? The happiest holiday of the year, Sukkot, where it says Vayisach Sameach. The happiest day when you gather in your product and you're so happy, everybody's Ola Regel. You read a book of doom and gloom. Wow, everything is nothing and nothing, and Ein Chodesh Tachas Hashem is all. Everything is old, and that's very depressing and demeaning. Why would you read that on the biggest Simcha? Read the Tisha B'Av. Read the Tisha B'Av. Yom Adin, make Rosh Hashanah. By side, let me tell you a gigantic little secret of the Torah. And by the way, my next volume called Gigantic Little Secrets of the Torah is coming out very shortly. It's going to be the Gigantic Little Secrets of the Torah. Next line on the cover is the Q&A on the 17 major and minor Yom Tovim of the year, plus 101 questions on davening, plus other assorted subjects like Chol Hamoed, Bris, Chasana, Pidyon Haben, Birchos Achama, stuff like that. Anyhow, that's coming out. If you want to dedicate it, by the way, you can call me. You can dedicate the whole Sefer. Even if you buy 20 Sforim, the first page will have your name in it. Dedicate to anybody you want. Call me on my cell phone. I'll give it to you, 845-826-4789. You can't do it unless you buy 10 Sforim minimum at a low price, but you have the first page that says that Sefer is dedicated to wherever you want to give it to. Anyhow, of course you get a better price. So now let's talk about Koheles. Answer is why you read a book of doom and gloom on the happiest day is because, as Shlomo, the wisest man, told us, you know he was the wisest man. He understood everything. He even could talk to plants and animals and birds. They could talk to him. He understood their conversation. The wisest of all men. Me wiser than Moshe Rabbeinu? Well, he understood everything except Paraduma. Says that in Koheles. Understand everything. One thing evaded me. Moshe Rabbeinu understood Paraduma because Moshe, as the Mayim explained, he was more than a human being. Shlomo's Chacham called Adam. He was Chatzi Malach and Chatzi Adam. How do you know? How do you know Moshe was Chatzi Malach? Well, he lived 40 days without food or drink 3 times. He debated with Malachim and he won the debate. Hashem gave the Torah to man. Moshe was unbelievable, and he was a regular person. He was not like the Goyim say a something supernatural. No, he was born, put in a cask, their little thing, and he died, and due to a certain avera, he died. He was not a saint, he was a saintly person. He was a holy man, the holiest man, holiest. He could change Hashem's mind. Instead of giving the Torah on the 6th, he said, we make it the 7th. He says, okay. Instead of Friday, was Shabbos. So, because he did everything Hashem ever asked him. Tzaddik, Hashem gozer, tzaddik makayim. But one time he wants to be gozer, then Hashem listens. Tzaddik gozer, Kodesh Baruch Hu makayim. If you do what he wants, he does what you want. One hand washes the other. So, he understood, Shlomo said, Rochel k'mimeni. This one thing is far away from me. Rochel k'mimeni is Gematria Paraduma. Moshe understood it because he's more than a man. He was Superman. But he was a regular human being. He was a regular person, born from a normal marriage, not some fiction that you make up. So anyhow, I come to tell you why it's not a book of doom and gloom. The whole Sefer is a Haggadah to the last pasuk. That's the Sefer, the last pasuk. Sof davar hakol nishma. This end word is God will heal everything. The Sof is a big samach. The secret, the sod to life is Sof davar, the end thing, the deepest meaning of everything. So hakol nishma, you have to listen to Hashem's voice, or He will hear your excuses. Why this person does this aver, he gets this punishment. You do the same aver, you get lesser or more. That's one way to learn it. Sof davar, the sod, the secret of the end of all knowledge is Elokim Yishma. You listen to Hashem, that completely what He said. Elokim Yishma is mitzvos of Tishma, and do His mitzvos. Kizeh kol ha'adam. That's why you were created, not to outsmart Hashem. You can't do that. Sof davar hakol nishma, Tim Yirah, you should fear God. Kizeh kol ha'adam. Which means if you live according to the Torah, then all the eating and the drinking and sports and marriage and money is all l'shem shamayim, then it is useful. But most people live no goal, no divine goal. It's worthless. It's a waste of time. That's why he says there's nothing new tachas hashemesh, under the power of Gashmius. If you can supersede Gashmius to live in a world of Ruchnius, all these things that he mentioned are nothing, or is everything. The eating, if it's L'Shem Shemayim, and the right yomtiv and kosher food, and all kind of marriage, and having children, and money, and having covered, and having, it's all the way Malam and Hashem, it's worth it. The whole book is telling you that 99% of people waste their lives. It's a doom and gloom if you don't live the Malam and Hashemesh. But Tachas and Hashemesh is a whole boring lifestyle. Hevel Havolim, if you don't understand what it's all about, then it's all Hevel Havolim. But if you don't do like it says in Koheles, and you live the Malam and Hashem, everything is worth it. It's the biggest sefer of chizuk in the world. He's telling you how not to live. He's telling you most people waste their lives. Yeah, for most people, waste of life. They go on this cruise and this trip and this thing, and again looking for something to excite their boring life. They have to go to this thing and watch this video and buy this thing and have this kind of toy, expensive toy, because life is boring. If you attach yourself with infinity, means Hashem and the Torah, nothing is boring. Some man told me recently he never had 1 minute free time in his life, because the pursuit of knowledge is the most exotic experience. And people who are not on that level, they use pizza for exotic experience, or bumper cars. What do you call it? These speed cars, and go to fights and ball games where 80,000, 100,000 people scream. That excites them. Some people get very excited about ideas. Well, that's in few people. Most people waste their life. Okay, Rabbi said that's Koheles. That's the shir on Shabbos Chalamoid. The next year, which will follow this, will be on Shmini Atzeres. What is the meaning of Shmini Atzeres?